Welcome back to another video, guys, and today we're going to be visiting the long-awaited first SC difficulty, which is of course insane. Now, a few things that I want to say before the video starts is that you should just take the opinions with a grain of salt, as obviously I'm just a random person on the internet who's not that experienced with EToH. EToH even. I keep saying EToH for some reason, that needs to stop. Anyway, yeah. Secondly, please just like and subscribe. I'd like to reach 200 subscribers. Please enjoy. Thank you. Yeah, let me just get on with it. Number 19 is Tower of Confusion. Well, obviously, I mean, I don't really need to explain myself. It's TOC. It's just bad. I mean, it's spammed full of gameplay that's just considered overall incredibly shitty for anyone that touches it. Don't get me started on the conveyors. Rest in peace to anyone who's playing it for the first time without a guide. You're definitely going to suffer a lot. You can also tell at a lot of points how old it is by the unnecessary traps and very simplistic but painful gameplay. I get that it is the oldest SC that's ever made, and yeah, you can see it, but it doesn't excuse it from being one of the worst concoctions that was ever cooked in EToH. Number 18, Tower of Extreme Hell. This is another tower that just goes overboard with spam, and it's just generally unfun to play. The majority of the gameplay is pretty bland, and the colours of the tower are hurting my eyes. I mean, you can probably see it on the screen here. It's that red, it's just, it's too bright. It's nowhere near as bad as the hellhole that is Tower of Confusion, obviously, but I can't say the tower's any good either, and it still leans towards the worst side of towers overall. Thanos Tower, which is number 17. The original Ring 1 SC. It's a shame that it's really not a good way to start things off though. There's a lot that's wrong with this tower, for example, the clunky mechanics and its overall strange colour scheme, along with it kinda being unsight readable at points. There are some decent factors, such as the fact that if you do know what you're doing, it is pretty enjoyable, and if you get consistent, it can actually be a good experience and a nice skill boost, but the tower just really isn't that fun to grind, if I'm being honest, and it's just not fun to play either. So yeah, unfortunately, it gets this placement. Number 16, Tower of Thinning Layers. While this tower is a fan favourite, you have to look objectively at the tower and realise that it really isn't amazing and it has a lot of flaws. For example, the purism of this tower can often make for some really frustrating jumps, and pretty empty sections actually. The later floors kind of feel like a little bit of filler before the outside. Of course, the tower's a good experience and it's great to try, and honestly, a good first SC if you're looking for one. But it just isn't that great in the grand scheme of things, and honestly, it's not aged particularly well. Number 15, Tower of Frightening and Confusing Trials. While I agree that this tower does get a little bit too much hate, I can also agree with what some of the haters are saying. The slanted jumps and trusses can make for a frustrating experience, and for a tower this modern and this, late into the game's life, it doesn't have that much of a real theme, besides just kind of purist gameplay. There just seems like a lot of missed potential with this tower, especially for the hardest insane in the game. That said, it is still okay though. Tower of Mindbreaking is number 14. And this tower's not that bad, it's just kind of forgettable and doesn't really stand out unlike a lot of the other SCs. Some of the gameplay used is creative, although it can be a pain to sight read if it's your first time playing this tower. It's also kind of underwhelming considering this was the first classic SC we would get in a while. That said, like I said before, some parts do shine and there is some very good stuff in this tower. It's just very lackluster compared to a lot of the other SCs, in my opinion. Though, still a good one to try, just not as your first SC. Number 13 is Tower of Double Trouble. Honestly, this is actually a pretty decent tower if you don't mind being there a while, as this one is pretty long. It's very easy to learn, and it's the easiest SC, in my opinion. Potential first SC idea, you know, if anyone wants one, because this is actually really easy. It's like peak rem. But yeah, however, this doesn't mean this tower is great. It can get pretty repetitive and can sometimes feel like it's dragging on because of some gameplay being a little bit filler. However, the difficulty is consistent, so guess that's a big plus in this tower. Number 12 is Tower of High Adrenaline. Now, I don't think this one's bad by any means, I just think that all the other SCs in Ring 9, and even on this list, just have way cooler themes or gimmicks that just kind of put this tower in its awkward place. Obviously, besides toe fact, you know, that's kind of why I put that underneath this. Anyway, the gameplay works fine, the tower's well balanced in terms of difficulty, it's just kind of an tower compared to what else is here on the list. It's just okay. Number 11 is Tower of Difficulty chart. Honestly, this tower would maybe argue that it should be further down on the list, but the gimmick was massively inspirational to numerous obbies and towers alike. This gimmick was such a revolutionary concept, and people to this day still make their own difficulty chart obbies. Some go a little over the top with it, like those great Citadel obbies, but the point is, this tower's gameplay is also pretty decent in the sense that the difficulty stays true to the floor that it was allocated to. And there's nothing too crazy, you know, the highest difficulty is probably mid-extreme, so it's still accessible for those with lower skill ranges. Decent tower, could still use a few improvements, but great first SC. Number 10 is Tower of Inevitable Failure. This tower is one of those that you usually forget about, but then you realise it was actually really good, and, you know, there's more to it once you return to it. This tower's gameplay is very good, even though it can sometimes be a bit annoying. The vibrant colours of the tower make it feel a lot more lively while not hurting your eyes, unlike Tower of Extreme Hell. And while it's quite short, the entertaining gameplay definitely makes up for that and feels very satisfying to grind as well. Number 9 is Tower of Polychromatic 0. This is another tower that kind of flies under the radar a little bit in the grand scheme of things because people sort of forget about this tower. But it's another tower that has a very cool theme and generally solid gameplay. While it's pretty easy to loop fail the later floors, the click gameplay mechanic is honestly quite creative and quite fun once you're able to grasp it as well. Overall, a pretty solid tower with a lot of quality in it, and honestly, it just is appealing to the eye. I mean, just look at it. Number 8 is Tower of Unsettling Heights. This SC also being located in Caleb's soul-crushing domain. It's a pretty solid tower, to be honest. The first few floors have generally good gameplay, which is pretty fun, and the last floors are some of the most scary in the entirety of EToH. Honestly, props to anyone who's beaten this. While the gameplay is on the easier side of insane, when under pressure it's easy to see all the hard in all of it, and beating it, I can only imagine, is immensely satisfying. It's a pretty good tower in my opinion, it perfectly balances things really well. Number 7 is Tower of Bent Trauma. While I will admit that this tower does have some extremely inconsistent gameplay at points, hence why it was brought up at difficulty from Remorseless, I can say that it is one of the most iconic towers in EToH history. The final stretch is very memorable, and I'm sure the result of many crash outs over the years, And also the atmosphere of this tower is very cool and adds to the eerie, lost feel of the whole environment, really boosting how immersive the tower is as a whole. Very decent tower, just a bit of a shame about some of the inconsistencies. Number 6 is Tower of Curved Descent. While it's one of the most punishing SCs, the mechanics are crafted really well, and a lot of the jumps feel well thought out and accurate to the tower's difficulty. There is a lot of creativity in this tower that cannot go unnoticed, and despite how punishing it can be, it still makes for a fun time, as it's short enough to not feel too bad when you fall on the later floors. Overall, I think, in general, this tower is just one of the better made towers in EToH, to be honest. I mean, you can just tell that a lot of effort has gone into most of the jumps here. Number 5 is Tower of Icy Blizzards. While this one's kind of controversial, I honestly love this tower. You know, I kind of get a few Arcane area vibes from this tower, which honestly I'm all for. The tower is one of the most fun SCs to play, and the ice gimmick does not get too annoying either. Gameplay remains fun throughout and is always entertaining for the player. While the outsides are a bit punishing, this tower is still a good one to try as an earlier SC, if anyone's interested. Not a first SC though. You know, a lot of people mistake it for being easier, it's definitely not. Number 4 is Tower of Tiki time. While this tower is lengthy, it remains really entertaining pretty much the whole way through. Honestly, in a void of unsight readable modern towers though, it can feel like a little bit of the same thing. Honestly, I am convinced this is more of a citadel than a tower, but you know, whatever. The punishment's done very well. It's a great way to balance some of the more classic tropes with the modern, even though the gameplay can be a tad bit confusing. Usually I don't give towers like this the time of day, but for the sheer effort and creativity, I can allow this tower to be where it deserves to be. Well done, Zach WRO21. Number 3, Tower of Rough Endoplasmic Reticulum. While I have no clue what the fuck that means, I can say the tower itself is very good. It has a decent challenge to it, and the gameplay feels satisfying to beat, just like a classic tower, despite this one being anything but. It is also somewhat a skill boost, and the theme of this tower is so wacky that it just works for something that goes in Zone 8. And it blends forgiving gameplay with more punishing gameplay due to their safety nets and outsides. In general, it's a very well made and well thought out tower. Number 2, Tower of Hollow Reformations. This tower is one of the coolest things my eyes have ever looked at. It's quite easy to get the hang of while still being relatively challenging and fun at the same time. This tower just really fits in with the Zone 9 environment, and it almost looks like a shooting star. The tower is also relatively short, so it is very easy once you practice it. And the atmosphere of this tower is one of the most beautiful environments I've ever seen in terms of what I've seen in EToH all these years. It's just a really good tower, to be honest, and I'm glad that it actually got into the game. Number 1, Tower of Rain on My World. This tower is just absolutely phenomenal. The theme and atmosphere almost feels like something EToH wasn't even capable of. It just feels so alive. The gameplay is also really fluid, and the tower is on par with towers like Tenebrous Depths and Perilous Antibode. Everything's just so well crafted in this tower, and in fact that it's so creative is honestly one of the best parts of the tower. There's loads of button progress, so failing isn't a huge demotivation issue. Everything just works with this tower, and honestly, it's the highlight of Zone 10. The best challenge of the penultimate zone. So anyway, thank you all for watching, I really appreciate it. You know, please like and subscribe, you know. Look forward to my future ranked videos. This one was so much easier to make than, you know, Remorseless ranked and Intense ranked. It's so much easier now, the ranked videos. So hopefully I'll get them all done pretty soon. And yeah, I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe for more. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm going to be trying to get more videos done now. I'm officially back in the game. Alright, see ya.